Do dee do do. Do dee do. Do dee do. Dee do dee do. Do dee do. Dee do dee do. Do dee do do. Do dee do. Well, nobody's here. Nobody wants to come out and play. See if anybody shows up here on YouTube land. Danny Panetta, sup, friend? What's going on, Danny? How are you doing, sir? What is going on in your neck of the woods tonight? By the way, I'm bad this evening. I went to go get a glass, but it was dirty, so. Chugging a little yellowtail Chardonnay here. Hey, Palm Limit, what's up, man? How you doing? Hey, Chip, haven't seen you in a while. How you doing? Glad to see everybody rolling in. Thought it was time to give a little update to everybody, so I'll get into that here in a little bit, but we'll give it some time for people to roll in so I don't have to keep repeating myself so often. Oh, gosh, I'm beginning to sound like these Ohio hillbillies again. I've been living here in the Hocking Hills of Ohio for too long now. I'm beginning to sound like them. Man, I thought I lost that accent a long time ago. You can take the kid out of the Buckeye State, but you can't take the Buckeye State out of the kid, I guess. Anyhow, guys, what's new and exciting? What's going on? It's new and exciting in your world, huh? Man, that's good. Just got more seeds in, and others are a popping. Well, it's that kind of season, Danny. You would expect that, although with all the snow and rain we've had, I have to admit there's not a whole lot of stuff going on here in Ohio, but I am sad to say that today I've been hearing an awful lot of lawnmowers going. Something that I absolutely have spent way too much time doing in my lifetime. Done did my share. I done did my share of walking behind a mower, smelling cut grass. I have raked and mowed far too much in my lifetime. More than any one person should be expected to. So now I think I'm going to move on to mowing the underside of the boat and scraping the bottom and getting the barnacles off, and let that be the extent of my mowing efforts. Hey, Cheryl Mitchell, how you doing? Broody hens and new bee. New bee. What's a new bee? New boyfriend? New bicycle. New baby. 65 in Mineola today. Oh, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Hey, Austin's Adventures up, man. Hey, Waukesha Pilot. See, I even said it right that time. Would have been here sooner, but I was forced to watch a stupid commercial. Yeah, them bastards. I mow 5 lawns every 2 weeks. Oh, Chip, oh man. My heart goes out to you, son. My heart goes out to you. Yep. Yeah. Well, sorry about that, but someone's got to pay the bills around here, and so we do monetize what we do so that we can get wealthy and wise and all that kind of fun horseshit. 73 in Texas. There you go. It was in the mid lower 60s today here in Ohio. Not too bad. Actually, it was a fairly nice day today. Sunny, just a little bit of clouds, mostly sunny, mid 60-ish, I guess. Pretty nice day all day today, although I spent most of the day inside working on what may be an exciting project, and I'll get into that here in just a wee bit. Good day, Carl. Hope you had good news. Well, I'll get into that in a minute here, Slipstream. How you doing? Glad to see you here. 54 in Wisconsin, 50-something in Milwaukee. Milwaukee, keeping the beer cold. They're talking about beer. I had to laugh at. I watched a video today from Selling Yacht Ruby Rose, and his wife was giving him a hard time for having bought that crappy American beer that he bought so much of. She actually made the statement that had she been there, that wouldn't have happened. So they're going to go out and buy new beer to share with guests that are on board because she's too embarrassed to serve, what was it, Bud Light, I think, or Miller Lite, or Milwaukee's Best, or one of those beers. I don't know. She was too embarrassed to share that with other people. I thought that was pretty funny. On number 5, it's Friday. On number 5. Okay. Well, Busch Light. Is that what it was? Busch Light? Yeah. Horrible beer. Horrible beer. I'm not a big fan of any of the Budweiser products, to be honest with you. I'm kind of I like the European beers, the Heinekens, the Becks, the Stellas, the Amstels, those beers. So especially Heineken, because they sponsor a lot of sailboat regattas, and I think that's very cool of them. So they've earned my business as far as I'm concerned. I love watching Ruby Rose, and it was Busch Light. There you go, Busch Light. Yeah, oof. Gives me chills just thinking about it. So 5th beer. All right, well, I'm matching you here. I'm knocking this bottle down myself tonight. Maybe I'll knock it down. I probably won't drink all that. Half of it, maybe. I don't need to be rude and callous, but I went inside and I got a glass, and it had gone through the dishwasher inside. I don't know if you can see that, but it is nasty. I prefer washing everything here by hand because the dishwasher here does such a lousy job. And I didn't wash that one by hand, but ugh. The problem is, and I think what this residue is actually, is Larry, my ex-wife's husband, he takes medications. And so he gets a lot of prescription drugs, and then he actually has to inject that into a feed tube in his belly, and then the glass gets left out, and that stuff dries in here. So I'm always concerned about, the residual drugs left on the glasses. But then the ex-wife has false teeth, and so she uses this glue on her teeth, keep her teeth in, and sometimes that'll leave sticky residue on the glasses. It's just kind of nasty, folks. It's just kind of nasty. I mean, it's life, but life's nasty. Just kind of nasty. So anyhow, I should have washed it by hand. I know better. Oh, beer. Anybody hand me one? I'd be grateful. Hey, Slipstream, if I was there, I would, buddy. I would definitely do that. I can't drink. I just can't get past the bitter taste of beer and liquors. Yeah. Okay. You're still a bit of a young buck, though, Austin. So you'll. Oh, I don't know. I was drinking beer pretty solidly when I was 14 and 15, but if you don't like it and you don't drink it, that's just fine. That's just fine. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I'm not much for hard liquor. Well, I shouldn't say that. I do like cognac, and I do like some tequila now and then. Gin occasionally on a martini. Well, I guess I do like hard liquor. I don't like whiskey. I'm not a big fan of whiskey and scotches, I guess I should say. And I don't mind wine. I kind of like wine. In fact, I've been enjoying wine more and more often lately. It doesn't make me have to pee as much as beer does. So, anyhow, Jet Dry, huh? You think so? Yeah, I need to use Jet Dry. Well, maybe a rinsing solution. Why are we worried about X's? Doc, I'm the garage that I'm staying in is here at my ex-wife's house. I've been helping her out, inside the house, helping her out. Her husband is having some real bad medical issues, and so I've been trying to help her out while I've been here, cooking dinners and that kind of stuff, and washing a lot of dishes, mowing the grass, raking the gravel, shoveling snow, all that kind of husbandly kind of stuff, because her husband now can't do it, so I've been trying to help out, and in remuneration for allowing me to stay here. Anyhow, I ended up with a music vid in my notification I did not sub to and was not wanted. I was just wondering if anyone else has had this happen. YouTube bullshit. Huh. Yeah, Palm Limit, they've been doing sort of a new marketing thing where they keep sending you suggested videos. And normally when you pull up your subscriptions, there'll be a column in the bulk there. It'll say like suggested things or something. Now they're actually like I get little messages that show up on the bottom right hand corner of my computer screen as a pop up. Hey, here's a suggested video you should watch. And 90% of the time there's something I'm really not interested in. But sometimes they are. Sometimes, I've found some, new YouTubers who are in the sailing genre, and I'll get into that here in a minute. But so yeah, it is sort of a new thing, new YouTube bullshit that they're doing. I like wine. I just don't like dry wine. You're a good man, Carl. Well, thank you, Austin. Thank you very much. Wine should be wet. Yes, wine should be wet. I don't know. I do like some dry wines, however. I like drinking a wine where it leaves your mouth kind of dry afterwards. And that way, you want to drink some more. So it just depends, I like some of the dry whites. I like some of the dry reds, especially when I'm eating beef or something. But we can get into wine stuff and be here for hours. So let's not go down that rabbit hole, shall we? SV Slipstream says, I posted a video yesterday and it was removed because of music. Oh, I'm sorry, Slipstream. Was it music that was belonging to somebody else that you didn't have permission to use because YouTube can't get their head out of their butt and figure out a way of compensating musicians when we do that? I don't know. Add dry wine to ginger ale. Danny, it's interesting that you mentioned that. My mother always drank dry white wine with either club soda or ginger ale. It was called a white wine spritzer. And that was her go-to drink in the evening. She would have one or two spritzers every evening, while my father knocked down a half gallon of scotch. So this was in my notifications, and it was a rap video, not quite my thing. Yeah. Well, the older I get, I'm beginning to the more exposed I am to it, I'm beginning to appreciate some rap. Not very much at all, but some rap. Really, lately, I've been getting into a lot of reggae, which is surprisingly, maybe I should do like a Rick Moore, let my hair grow long and braid it, or what do they call it, dreadlocks, make my hair go to a dreadlock. Maybe I'll dreadlock my beard or something. Wouldn't that be disgusting? Uma Crash was good yesterday. Yeah, Uma Crash singing on the live stream. That was pretty interesting yesterday. For those of you guys that don't know, Project Atticus was doing a live stream, and the guys from Uma crashed in on them. They're over on the east coast of Mexico right now. So it was sort of great seeing two channels getting together. And then they had, one of the things that Project Atticus did that was very well done is they had a big collaboration with a number of other channels where those other channels conducted little video clips, and then Project Atticus included it as part of their live stream. It was very well thought out. More work than I probably am willing to do. But maybe, who knows? Maybe at some point I'll be doing something like that too when I'm panicking and in need of money and trying to get all the shares and views and whatever. Actually, I may need that here pretty soon. So, yep, that's the case. Music wasn't authorized to use the music. Yeah, yep. Hello, Kerry from Nova Scotia. How are you, man? How are you doing? Ref wine kills me. Ref wine. You mean red wine, I think. You mean red wine. Do not be used by an ex. Been there and done that. It never turned out well. Yes, Doc, we're good. We're good, Reggae, now you're moving. There you go. Yep. In fact, I've had some pretty good, interesting reggae and what's it called? Soca, S-O-C-A, soca music. I've got a girl from down the islands who do soca tunes that's allowed me to use her music now. So you're going to see more and more in that in my videos when I start producing real videos, which I may be doing here pretty soon. So Yeah, Palm Lemon, go ahead and check out your channel. Hey, while we're on here and we're doing this, one thing I always do with my channel, if you're a YouTuber, if you've got a YouTube channel, give yourself a shout out so people know you have a YouTube channel so they know to subscribe to you. So anybody on here that is got a YouTube channel that puts up content, say, hey, here I am, here's my YouTube channel, subscribe. Take this opportunity to get subscribers, man. Shell would like to know if I got the boat. No, I did not get the boat. Hit like, please. Thank you, Wakasha. I appreciate that. Slipping the finger. The Critter Window, how you doing? I got a strike for flowing water for the third time in different videos by the same people. I own all content. I got it overturned, but I am about over it. Yeah, flowing water, huh? Huh. Guys, hit that like button. 420, yeah, man. Yeah, man, 420. Okay. Sweet Merlot. There you go. That should be the name of a song, Sweet Merlot. Come June, I'll have sailing content. There you go, Austin. And to those of you guys who just came on, I don't mean to be rude drinking out of the bottle, but if you watch the beginning of this video, you'll find out that the glass I grabbed from the kitchen was too dirty for me to use. So, and I don't want to take time out of the live stream to go wash a cup. So I'll just drink out of the bottle if you don't mind. I'll be rude. Did the guy give the boat away yet? Yes. River sailing anyway. Oh, there you go, Austin. Okay, so we're into this long enough now. Let me go ahead and give you guys the skinny on the boat. The boat was a Coquette 39, which is a one-off design that was made in South Africa. The guy was giving it away. The boat is sitting on the far east side of Lake Ontario. It's been on the hard for many years, many years, wrapped up and covered, and needs a lot of work done to it, obviously. But he ended up giving it to a countryman, is the way he put it to me, and he is from South Africa, so I assume it went to a South African. He wanted to give it to a young man, not an old geezer like me. So, and that's fine. You know, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Fact is, going through this process, I ended up winning something much more valuable than that boat would have been. And that is the phenomenal comments I got from you guys, the viewers that made on that video, the messages that you were sending to that fella, letting him know why you think I should get the boat was much better than any boat I could have ever gotten. So once again, I'll tell you guys, you really touched my heart with those comments, and I'm very much appreciative. In fact, that's played a very strong role in the decision making I've been going through the last couple of days. And I'm going to get into that now, but let me take a check at the comments here. Austin's Adventure says, come June, I'll have sailing content. Good. River sailing, cool. Did the guy give the boat away yet? Yes. Hello there, Austin Redmond. Hello, Austin Redmond. What's up, ma'am? That's right where I am. That's right where you are, Slipstream. You're on the east coast of Ontario. Cool. He's not too far from Watertown. I don't remember off the top of my head the little town there, or some little French sounding little bay that he was in. But my Polish granny brewed wine from Concord grapes. It ruled. My Scottish hillbilly folks were moonshiners. Their brew ruled. There you go, Doc. Yep. There you go. Actually, Doc, I've done a lot of home brewing of beer in the past. In fact, we used to make some pretty darn good beer. But I don't want to have that on board the boat too much. Takes up too much room. So someday. Right now, I've got a lot of stuff to do. So I'm going to put my alcohol consumption in the background. So yes, Lake Ontario. Well, that's cool, Slipstream. That's neat. Grandpa ITNS, howdy all. Evening, Grandpa Ittens. Grandpa Ittens? Is that what you're trying to say, Steve's Vids? Hey, Steve Vids, how you doing? Grandpa Ittens? Is that what my folks are, is Ittens? We're going to call them Ittens now? That's interesting. Grandpa Ittens. I like that, actually. You guys are all my ittens. You're my peeps, but you're my ittens. My daughter would have called you peeps. You're my peeps. So long time no see. Oh, okay. Not ittens, but littens. I see. Okay, my bad. Long time no see. Yeah, Steve, long time no see. My bad. My bad. Because I've not been putting out content like I should be for a number of reasons. Okay, let me get to the meat of it. The reason why I decided to go ahead and do this live stream today. One, because after the phenomenal response I had from so many people about that comments that they made on that video for that guy, I wanted to get back and respond to those and tell everybody how much I appreciated that. But that also sort of redirected my thinking quite a bit. For those of you that don't know, my plan has been, while I've been here in Ohio, was to try to sell real estate in Florida from Ohio, and I'm seeing some limited success with that. But it's frustrating. It's difficult for me because I need to be there to do that, and I've been doing what I can from here because I don't have the resources to be there because of Hurricane Irma. There are no rentals available in the Florida Keys. Nothing. There. Oh no, I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that. If I wanted to rent a crappy trailer full of mold, I could do that for $2,500 a month. Not something I'm willing to do. But there's very, very few rentals. And I know because I'm a real estate broker licensed there and a member of the multiple listing service there. I see what comes available through the multiple listing service, and there's just nothing in the way of rentals available. There's far too many people trying to get back into their homes that are being worked on still, fixing and repairing. They've been waiting for money from FEMA and from the government there to take care of the funding and get the repairs worked on. So there's still a lot of houses still under construction being worked on. So there's a real housing shortage down there. So my plan was, well, I'm going to try to work to get at least one transaction maybe I could do online, over the phone, what have you. And that would give me some money to get down there to buy a boat and live on the boat while I'm working. And that would give me sort of a floating condo. Well, in my zeal to get things going down there, I borrowed some money against my truck to fund my marketing efforts and my licensing and stuff down there, joining the multiple listing service, that sort of stuff. And I have successfully done that, and I've been marketing, and I've sent forms out for listings, and I got one listing down there. Things are beginning to look pretty good, but long road ahead of me yet. And then this offer came for this free boat, and it sort of interrupted my whole thought pattern. It interrupted my thought pattern enough that I started dreaming about, well, what could I do if this guy gives me the boat? What kind of, what can I do with it? And I started thinking about hurricane season, and man, I don't really want to be down in Florida this summer on a boat. That's crazy. I mean, I was a fairly outspoken person that it's stupid to be on a boat in Florida or anywhere in the Caribbean in hurricane season during, in any other hurricane routes during hurricane season is a fool's errand. And if we learn anything by looking at what happened with my attempt to buy Bob from Sailing Doodle's boat was, sure enough, he left that boat unsecured down there in Puerto Rico, and the hurricane came along and trashed it. Well, he's out the money. I didn't buy it. I dodged a hell of a bullet, and unfortunate for Bob, but he's the one who left his boat in the way he did, and it got trashed. So, but it got me to thinking, I don't really want to be down in that area this summer. In fact, I don't really want to be there till November. And maybe by November, the Florida Keys will have gotten more fixed up, cleaned up, moving, and the market might get a little better down there. And so, if this guy gave me a boat, I started thinking, well, could I do that? Could I take a boat and sail around Lake Ontario and down the Oswego Canal and the Erie Canal and the Hudson River and go to New York? And I started thinking, man, I could go up to the coast of Maine and hit the Rockport Lobster Festival and come back down to New York City and be there for the Feast of San Gennaro, and then head down to Annapolis and be there for the Annapolis Boat Show, and all kinds of things along the canal routes that could be done. That's all sort of interesting, historical kind of stuff that I frankly would love to cover. And so with the idea that I might have gotten that boat, I was really dreaming, man. I mean, my mind was going. I couldn't sleep at night. I had all these ideas of things, these wonderful things I could do, and then I didn't get the boat. And so, well, let me jump into the chat here for a minute, and we'll come back to the story. So, all the comments were very nice. Oh, Waukesha, they were not more. They were much more than just nice. They were just more. Gave up all the brews, such as non-productive. Hey, Kelly Binks, how you doing, man? All is well with me and Lily. Absolutely. Trav, you're never late, man. Welcome. I'm glad you made it here. Nova Scotia, buddy. I'll meet you there. There you go. Doc says, as much as I love the water, I'm an old man. I'm staying on my Ozarks homestead. Okay. Sipsy says, Carl, my brother has a home in Marathon. He was saying they may put it up for sale. I told him about you, and he wanted to know what your contact info is. Could you post it? He lives in Canada. Yeah, absolutely. Let me do this. Whoop. There is my email address. There is my new phone number, my new Florida phone number. And guys, just between you and I, just keep the phone number between us, okay? Let's just keep that confidential, okay? Yeah, right. I just put it out on the internet. There's my email and phone number. So, yeah, have them give me a call. It's interesting that you said that. I just mailed out a whole bunch of letters to people as part of my marketing that I do, and one of them went to a fellow up in Canada. I wonder if it's the same guy. I don't know. That would be interesting. But please hit the like button. Yep, there you go. Dave G, sorry. Bummer, I'm sorry you didn't get it. No, it's okay, David. It's all good, man. I can see you selling a goat. I have sold goats before, actually. I've owned goats and sold goats. My wife and daughter and I had a goat dairy for a little while. We were making goat milk soaps and selling them at the farm markets. It was quite profitable. Gave very serious consideration to doing that as an occupation, actually. I came really close to doing that as an occupation. A couple of times, actually. So I have some good friends of mine who live in Ohio that have a goat milk dairy, and all they do is make goat milk soaps and body butters and lotions and that kind of stuff. And they're making $1 million plus a year on a 35 goat herd. So it can be done. And goat milk soap, guys, if you don't use goat milk soap, you should try it. It is awesome. Much better than anything else on the market and very healthy for you. Not for publication. There you go, Waukesha. Not for publication. Well, the thing of it is, it's on the live chat, and we all know that when this video goes on to YouTube, the chat gets cut off. So if you're not on my chat right now, you're not going to see that. So I'm trusting you 47 people watching not to abuse that number and put it out there for too many people to scam me on. But as it is, I'm sure some of my haters are on there, and they're writing that down right now so they can set me up for all kinds of crap, and yeah, whatever. You'll pass it on to him. His name is Richard Rosette. Oh, like the Rosetta Stone, maybe. Cool. Got my word, Grandpa. No problem, Austin. Appearing soon. There you Oh, gosh. There you go. Oh, Austin, you're bad, man. You're bad. You know why you didn't get it? Yes, I know why I didn't get it. I said selling a goat. Oh, selling a goat. Yeah, I could do that too. It'd be hard to keep them wet or dry, but yeah. Chat replays also now. Only sometimes, Critter Window. Only sometimes. Not all the time. And welcome here. I used to make feta cheese when I was a cheesemaker. Hey, cool, Austin. Nice. The chat now stays. Well, if it stays, it stays. And such is life. Oh well. If you go down on my channel to my About page, and there's a box there that says for business inquiries, and you click on that, it brings up my contact info anyway. So it's not like it's any major secret. And with what my plans are right now, if the phone gets blowing up with stupid shit, I'll just change the number. I haven't had it that long, so it won't bother me at all. In fact, I just changed the number to a different number and then to this number. This is the third number I've had in the last month, so I have no problem changing my phone number. There's a business number anyway. Someone can probably find it on your website. That's absolutely correct. I spent much of my youth sailing in the Great Lakes. I missed it. It sucks being an old man. Yes, it does, Doc. Yes, it does. Parts of you just don't want to work sometimes. Would a text be okay? A text would be fine, sure. Every live stream I get, the chat stays. Well, okay. Seems that bottle should be rum. No kidding, Critter Window. Absolutely. In fact, it is Yellowtail Chardonnay. One of my viewers told me I should drink Yellowtail. Obviously, he was Australian and thought I should be drinking an Australian wine. Note the kangaroony on it. And I told him I drink the Yellowtail quite a bit, but in his support, I've been drinking more Yellowtail lately. Well, actually, I haven't been drinking very much Yellowtail. In fact, this is the second bottle of Yellowtail I've had since he made that comment a few months ago. So, not like I'm sitting here knocking down a bottle of wine every night, although that would be fun. Hey, Kim Banks, how you doing? Is that a bottle of wine you are drinking? Yes, ma'am. And I apologize for my rudeness and not having a nice, pretty glass. But the glass I got from the kitchen was dirty, and so I'm not going to drink out of a dirty glass. And I didn't want to take the time to go wash it during the middle of the live stream. So, and I deserve that on a Friday night. It's been a stressful week for me. So, Miss Lily is in the dog crate right there behaving herself, and she's going to stay there this time. Last time somebody chided me and let her out, and she attacked me. So when I say she attacked me, she jumped on my back and licked me and jumped all over me and messed up my hair. And she can just stay in there for a while. She's had a busy day today, and it'll do her good to take a little bit of a rest. She got in trouble today for knocking stuff over with her big butt, actually. It's a good wine. It is a good wine. Yes, it is. All is good, Grandpa. Well, good, Kim. I'm glad all is good. How's the Munchkin doing? Is she behaving herself? It's not rude if you're not sharing. And I'm not sharing. There ain't nobody in here but me and the dog don't drink wine. So, hello, Terry Parmenter. How are you? She loves you. Yes, she does love me. Okay, let me get back to the rest of the story. So, as I said before, I did not get the boat. The guy went ahead and gave the boat to a younger man, is the way he put it. He wanted to go to a younger man, and he went and he gave it to a guy who was a countryman of his, and he's from South Africa. So some South African kid is going to get aboard that boat up on the east shore of Lake Ontario and try to put it back together again and get it in the water. But that got me thinking about some stuff, and so I started researching some things. And believe it or not, there's a website called freeboats.com. I got on there and I looked at free boats, and then I started looking at some other boats, and I got on Craigslist, and I got on Yacht World, and I got on eBay, and I got on every resource that I could think of looking at different boats for sale. There's a bunch of them. There is a shit ton of boats on the market right now. Now, in the Great Lakes area, boats are high because it's getting to be summertime there. Everyone's going to get their boats in the water and get out in the water and have fun. Over on the East Coast, down in Florida, boats are fairly cheap because it's the end of the season. Hurricane season is starting to roll in. So people are thinking about getting out of boats. So I've been looking at a number of different boats. I've seen some over on the East Coast. I've seen some on Lake Erie. I've seen some on Lake Ontario, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan. Been looking at a number of boats. Oh, Dave G's blowing up the chat here. Hold on a minute. Honesty is your base. There you go. I once enjoyed Evan Williams. I said up. Okay. That guy who was giving away the boat was a loony left liberal. He was one of those guys who thinks conservatives are evil people. At least that is what I learned by looking at his Facebook page. I was afraid he would look at your page and realize that you're a Second Amendment supporter and believes in personal responsibility. Dave, I'm sure that played a certain amount of the role into it. Also, one very good friend of mine who's a subscriber happened to make a comment, I'm not going to name names, that suggested the guy that if the boat's a piece of crap, not to give it to me because the last thing I need to do is try to fix up someone's junk boat. And that may have played a little bit of a role in that. I think maybe the guy realized that maybe I'm a little too public and that if he'd given me the boat and the boat was really all that bad, it might reflect poorly on him. And maybe that played into his. But in any event, the successful thing about it is he got me thinking in the right direction, okay? And that is go cheap, go small, go now. So here's the thing. I've got a couple different things I'm thinking about. One, I need to get down to Florida where I can earn more money as a realtor in the Florida Keys market because it's a good real estate market. But I really don't need to be there until November. I could be there if I could afford or find, if I had a camper to live in or something like that. I could be down there working now, but I don't have a home down there. I don't have a camper to live in. I don't have a boat down there right now. And I wouldn't want to be on a boat, which is my preferred domicile, because it's hurricane season. And the last thing you want to do is be in the place where hurricanes hit during hurricane season in a boat. That's stupid. So it got me to thinking, well, what if I found a boat up here and I could spend some time playing around in the Great Lakes and in the canal systems and the Erie Canal, all the different canal systems and down the Hudson River and into New York and around Long Island, staying out of the hurricane areas until we get into, August, September, and then, maybe make my way slowly down to like Annapolis for the boat show in October. Then head south down to Florida when hurricane season's pretty much getting over with and being down there. And so that's the plan that was sort of hatched and what I'm working towards now. And I have found a number of boats. I mean, I've been looking at and printing out all kinds of spec sheets on all kinds of boats and looking at them and making phone calls and calling people up and talking about this, that, and the other thing. And I have a few of them identified that I could buy. And in fact, I've got a few of them I could just buy outright dirt cheap, So that seemed like a really good possibility. But then this happened. Now, before I get into what this is, let me go back and check the chat. So Austin's Adventures, where in Wisconsin? Okay, you guys talking to yourself. Learn the Lines channel did a bit on how they found their boat for free. Yep, there you go. I saw that. Hudson, Milwaukee here. I'm going to be on Lake Michigan this summer at Sheboygan. At Sheboygan, yeah. That's a fun name to say, Sheboygan. But you don't have any money. You don't need money, King of Chuck. You just need cojones. Hey, King. Hey, all. Hey, King of Chuck. Yeah, King of Chuck thinks I'm a dreaming lunatic, and he's probably correct. Hello, King of Chuck. Welcome. Glad you're here. I know, seriously, I really am glad you're here. It's good to have some people to keep me sane. But see, here's the thing. I do have some money. I've got a 2001 Ford Excursion sitting out front. And I have a fella that was here today that made me a very lucrative offer on that truck. And if I accepted that truck, then I would have the money to buy a boat. And I don't mean just put a down payment on the boat. I've been looking at some like 30-footers that are equipped for cruising. They're not perfect. They're not, magazine cover boats. They're needing a lot of work. But I mean, I found a couple of boats, 3,000. I mean, this boat in this sheet that I'm holding right now, this one here, $3,000 for a 30-foot sailboat, $3,000. I could pay cash for that boat, and I could sell my truck. And so the guy that wants to buy my truck spoke with him today, and I said, "Hey, what's your timeline? How fast do you need to have the boat?" Because he made me an offer. It wasn't quite what I wanted, but it's close, very close. And he said, oh, he's not in any particular hurry, something in the next 30 days. I said, fine, 30 days works perfect for me. So I told him I would accept his offer if he allows me to use the truck for the next 30 days so that I can take care of my logistics of getting all my stuff moved up to and onto a boat. And once I have that completed, then I'll turn the truck over to him. That seemed to work for him. So, yeah, King of Chuck, I do have money. Just don't have a ton of money. Doesn't take a ton of money if you're committed. And maybe I should be. Probably should be committed. But be that as it may, it'll be interesting to see what happens. And yes, of course, a free boat costs money. There's going to be expenses involved, and I'm going to set aside a little bit of money to take care of those things. But you see, I also have something, King of Chuck, that most people do not have. And, I know, again, I have cojones, right? I have balls. So I'm going to say this. What I have is you guys. I have a YouTube channel. I have a support group. The video I asked where asked you guys to get on there and tell this guy why he should give me the boat, and I saw those nice comments. I have a support group. You guys are awesome. You guys, there's so many people that have jumped out of their way to help me out and figure out a way to make things work that I'm pretty confident that I could get things going. Hey, SV Akula, how you doing, man? Glad to see you here. Carl, you worry too much about hurricanes. It is a way of life here in Florida. They do not hit here that often. Often enough. Thanks, Austin. I just got your text. I'll look at it after the live stream. There's a nice 35-footer here in Hudson for $3,500. There you go. I will look at that. Nicely equipped. There you go. Kim Binkley says, I hope everyone is doing well. Kim, you're such a nice person. You really are. You're just such a nice person. You're like mom to everybody on here. It's nice. There's a sweet steel 35-footer that can be had for 10 grand Canadian in Kingston, Ontario, Canada. Well, see, that's exactly what I'm talking about, guys. You guys are my peeps. You've got my back. You've got this is crowdsourcing, okay? I get on here and tell you what I'm thinking about doing, and you guys come up with all kinds of stuff. The dark side of affordable boats are the hidden costs. Well, of course they are, Doc. But most of those hidden costs are not things that are urgent. They're not life-threatening at the moment. They may come at some time, but they're things that one can work with and deal with and work around and figure it out and get things done with time. And that's not to say I'm going to jump on the boat and cross the Atlantic tomorrow. I mean, that would be ridiculous. In fact, most of what I plan on doing won't even involve sailing. If I go down the canal system, I got to pull the stick and lay it on deck, so I'm just motoring along. I mean, I might as well be on a 16-foot John boat, for Christ's sakes. So it's not like we're going to jump on the boat and try to cross the Atlantic or head to the Southern Ocean. That's not what we're talking about. And it's foolish to think that way. You can always find the bad side of anything, but I refuse to walk that road. I really do. Now, here I was just criticized for thinking that there's too many hurricanes happening down in Florida, and it's just a way of life down there. Sure, it's a way of life, but if this boat's going to be all my money for the time being, I'm not going to put it at risk unnecessarily. And I don't have to necessarily. There's lots of things I can do on a boat creating content in the meantime. Fact is, I find the research I've been doing on the Erie Canal and the Oswego Canal, there's some awesome stuff that went on with that, the history of that, the financial, the economic significance of that. To the city of New York, which is near and dear to me because I grew up on Long Island. I was born on Long Island, New York. So it's got a lot of history and background that could be displayed. I've been sort of disappointed. There's been a lot of cruisers, not a lot, a couple of cruisers that have bought boat up in the Great Lakes and then boom through the canals, and next thing you know, we're down in the Caribbean. Man, they just raced through all this great stuff where they could have made phenomenal content. It takes 5 days to run east to west on the Erie Canal. I want to take a month. I don't want to just get on the boat and boom, go from A to B. I want to take a month. There's 50 canals you got to go up and down through, and each one has a history and a story. There's all kinds of stories to be told along the whole route of that. Back from the days when they first dug it, to the mules that pulled the barges up and down it, to the guys now working all of the gates and opening and closing the locks, and too many good stories to just drive past them all without talking about a little bit. So there's an opportunity for a lot of great content there. Danny, you got to run. Okay, buddy, we'll talk to you later. Here on the West Coast, we have had 6 tropical storms, not hurricanes, in the past 25 years. Yes, over on the West Coast. Yep. I missed a comment. Let me scroll back up here a second. King of Chuck, you are a dreamer, and that's cool. I'm a fan. I'm here just concerned. No problem, King of Chuck. I really do appreciate your good counsel, sir. I do. Everybody needs to have you need to have the one devil on, or the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other, whispering in your head, telling you how to go through. And then you determine which one you're going to listen to. Depends on how close you want to walk on the crazy line. I tend to walk the crazy line quite a bit, so. Maybe that's why I've been divorced twice. I wonder how that plays out. SV Slipstream says a 35-footer that steel has a full survey, needs very little. It's an estate sale. Well, Slipstream, send me the information on it, dude. Please do. 35-footer over on the east coast of Ontario would be perfect for me. I just put up my email and my phone number, so go ahead and contact me. AlaskaCarl@gmail.com. Carl with a C. So send me the information. Friday night, we're all drinking. Love it. Hey, what else are you going to do on a Friday night? Solving all the problems of the world. Isn't that what they do? And the nice thing about it, Waukesha, is that we're all at home on our computers, and none of us, after doing this drinking, is going to get in their car and go anywhere. I got a real bad commute from here. I got to go right there. That's the red wool blanket I cover my bed with to keep Lily's dog hairs off my sheets. No, true story. That's as far as I got to go. Looking at the Great Circle route, cruisers have been doing it for years. Sure. Yeah. Sean and Julia's channel did the canal. Yeah, Dave, but they're one of the people that I'm talking about. They got on the canal and it was like, boom, we're through the canal. I think they did like 4 episodes on the canal. They weren't doing the canal to do the canal. They were just on the canal because they had to get to someplace warm. And I can understand that to some degree. But, it's now April. I'll be getting on a boat hopefully May 1st, maybe the next 10, 15 days, hopefully. Maybe, you never know. And so I've got, May, June, July, August. I got 3-4 months that I could spend knocking around the Great Lakes and the canal system. Before I get down to where I want to get out into the salt. I'd like to be in New York City come September for the Feast of San Gennaro. Ideally, I was thinking it might be nice to run up to Maine, go up to Rockland, Maine for the Lobster Festival up there in August. I was there about, 40 years ago or so. It was a good time. So, might be fun. What are the opportunities for salvage boats out your way? I think there would be much will be changed, but not trashed by the hurricanes last year. Don, I'm in Ohio. There's no salvage boats here anywhere. I'm in Ohio right now. There's nothing. In fact, the guy that didn't give me the boat said, well, go down to marinas and look around marinas. You'll find a boat. And I'm like, dude, there ain't no marinas for 100 miles from me, 200 miles from me. So I thought that was funny. Nobody is driving. No, I hope not. Some of us are in their UPS trucks working. I understand that, Chuck. Now I think they need to go buy a bottle of wine. There you go, Kim. Not drinking, though. No, I wouldn't imagine if you're in the ups truck, you're probably not drinking. Hey, King of Chuck, while we're talking about that, do you ever watch, what's his name? Oh, Christ, now I'm going to block it. The guy from New York and his UPS driver, he gets in his videos from time to time. I guess his UPS driver is now like famous. He's the most famous UPS driver. Casey Neistat, because Casey has him on his videos all the time. Yeah, being a UPS driver, you might appreciate that. I thought that was pretty funny. Anything to get Julia in a bikini faster. Oh, yeah, well. Of course, you're married. If he was married to Julia, he didn't need to get her in a bikini. You'd want her out of the bikini, ideally. But yes, hey, no cool name. How you doing? Glad to see you here. I thought about doing the Great Circle before I bought my present boat. Now it's the Caribbean instead. Well, sure, cool. I understand that. But it's summertime now. This is not the time of year to be in the Caribbean. It's not. Hey, if I had, $80,000 or $100,000 to buy a good solid boat right now, I'd get on that boat. I'd bang across the Atlantic right now and be over and spend this summer in the Med like all the rest of the cruisers do. That's the thing. You spend the summers in the Mediterranean, you spend the winters in the Caribbean. That would be the thing to do. But I don't have the money for that boat. I'm going to buy a piece of crap boat here in the United States that I'll work on and fix up and make content about. But there's a lot of great sailing and cruising to be had here in the U.S., in the good old U.S. of A., guys. And so I'd like to show some of that. I meant in the hurricane zone or in the Great Lakes. Yeah, I'm looking up at the Great Lakes. There's not much up in the Great Lakes, but yeah, down on the hurricane zone, south here, there would be. Marlon, the UPS guy. Yep, that's it, Chuck. Marlon, yep. Yep. He's the famous UPS guy. Thanks to Casey Neistat. Make sure you get to Annapolis by October for boat show. I think it's first weekend this year. I may have a spare vehicle you can use to run around. Oh man, Dave, gee, that would be freaking awesome. Yes, and in fact, I'm gonna touch base on another subject here in just a second in regards to the Annapolis Boat Show. But yes, I very definitely will try to be. No, I'm going to schedule and plan to be at the Annapolis Boat Show. I think that would be awesome to be there this year. So maybe we can have get together there at the boat show. I think that would be awesome. Doc says during my youth working at a major Detroit railway equipped marina. Detroit Railway Equipped Marina. Okay. It seemed we specialized in salvage boats that probably shouldn't have been restored. Yeah, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of boats that get pulled out of the water and just, cut up and thrown to the landfill. So, no, Cool Name 32 says, I like your plan to get your real estate business going a little better than this new plan. You have an adventurer spirit, though. Haha, you don't think like normal people. No, I tend not to think like normal people. Normal people go to college, get a 4-year degree in basket weaving or whatever, get a job, work in a cubicle, put in their 40 hours a week and enjoy their weekends and are members of the bowling league or whatever. And at the end of 40 years, they get the gold watch and they get to retire to their little house. And that's great. That's really the American dream. And there's a lot of people all over the world that would give their left nut to have the opportunity for that American dream. I'm not knocking it, but that's not the route that I started down when I was a kid and not the route I'll probably follow on to my death. My father died of a stroke. He had a stroke and it took him 10 or 12 years after that stroke to finally pass away as a result of it. It was a really sad time to watch him degrade over a very long period of time without the ability to easily communicate nor to get around very well. My ex-wife's husband inside here, a Vietnam vet, Agent Orange, laid him low. He's got all kinds of throat cancers and mouth problems. He can't eat anymore. He has his milkshakes he injects in a tube into his belly. He can't talk because his voice is all messed up, and he's fed up and he's pissed off and he's fading away. And man, I don't want to go out like that. And I told my sons that. My sons and my ex-wife don't want me to go sailing. They want me to be here. What if something happens to you, Dad? What are you going to do? If you're out in the middle of the ocean and something happens to you. And I told them, after watching what happened to my father and after watching what's happening to Larry and other people that I've known along the way, stepping off the back of a boat in the middle of the ocean doesn't seem like such a bad way to go to me. Not that I have any intention of doing that anytime in the near future, but that's just my attitude. So love it when Carl has a few drinks and loosens up a bit. Okay. Actually sweating. It's hot in here. 76 degrees in here. I've got the little heater on. I didn't turn it down enough. Hey, Carl, definitely let us know if you're stopping in Annapolis. Doug, I will definitely be stopping in Annapolis. I may be driving there. I may be on a boat over there. Now, you're going to know very soon what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to put it out there as things happen. No Cool Name says, I worked in a cubicle for 5 years, tried to a phone cord for 40 hours a week. It sucked. Yes, and I've done that too. Don't get me wrong. I've worked customer service. I've worked as a sales engineer, even as a real estate agent. I've been in the office doing my nose to the grindstone stuff. And it's fine. And for a lot of people, it's great. And there's a lot of people in the world, like I said, who wish they could have that opportunity. It's just not for me anymore. So a marina neighbor of mine grabbed the abandoned Catalina 30 as salvage. Cost him nothing but the cost of repairs. He lived on it while fixing it up and now has a fairly nice boat. His income is about $1,000 a month. Yeah, Don, it's very possible. Absolutely very possible. So there's a lot of possibilities. Okay, so let me go back to the story now that I've caught up on the chat. So I've been looking at a number of different boats that I could just buy. The guy buying my truck's willing to work with me. He said, hey, if I told him I needed the truck for 30 days and I'll deliver it to him. We'll work out figuring out how the logistics of that and get the truck to him. And so that's all fine. So while all this was going on, I was looking at different places to go sailing. And I thought, well, the Annapolis Boat Show. So I was looking on Google Earth at the Annapolis Boat Show, and where could I sail to? Where could I anchor? Where the grounds are for the Annapolis Boat Show? Where could I park my boat down there without being in a marina and paying out the chinks? I'd have to be on the hook on an anchor. So where could I be down there that would facilitate that? And so I started looking at various marinas, and I clicked on this, and I clicked on that, and I clicked on something else. Well, one of the buildings I clicked on was Gemini Catamarans. I thought, really? I had forgotten that Gemini is based out of Annapolis. And frankly, they don't have a real great big huge facility there. They've got a couple big barns and a small dock there, but that's where they make the Gemini catamarans. And of course, I know about Geminis. I know about the man who started it, and is now I think it's his daughter that runs the business or was running the business. It was sold to Catamaran Company, so they're now partners with them, and so I got on their website and was trying to look at some of the Geminis that were available to see what kind of prices that were available. And you had to register. So all right, here's my email address. Blah, 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 I registered, whatever. And today I got a phone call from a guy there. And well, you seen that I registered. It was a lead for him. He's a salesman, right? So, and I was like, yeah. So I called him back and I said, yeah, I'm interested, but here's my situation. This is who I am, and this is what I'm doing. And I spoke to him about it in great detail. And he was really intrigued, actually. Now, it probably won't go anywhere. But he was intrigued enough that he wanted to run it up the poll and see if anybody would have any interest in me coming in with a really minimal down payment on a boat and them working out some funding for this old bastard who has really bad credit in exchange for me using it as a platform for my YouTube channel. It's a possibility. I haven't heard back from him. Probably won't for a while. May not hear back from him at all. But it was a possibility. But one of the things we did discuss was that, since I'm a new YouTube channel, well, not new, but small, because I'm not really sailing yet, that, they would obviously want somebody who's a bigger channel with more subscribers. Maybe not 200,000 subscribers like La Vagabond, but, certainly somebody with more views than what I've got. And so that got me thinking more about, if I go out and buy one of these 30-footers for $3,000 or $4,000, and I've got a lot of connections in the industry from some of my friends that are in the sailing industry who have been more than willing to hook me up with the right people that I could call up and say, hey, I need X, Y, and Z. I need a new roller furling. I need a new drum. I need a new this. I need a new that. I need a stove. I need a charcoal grill. I've got the industry contacts to call those people directly. And I don't mean those people, I mean like the owners of the company, because there's a very good friend of mine that they've had a relationship with for many years, and he's willing to help me out. And that maybe I can make the right contacts and, outfit that boat, clean it up, build my YouTube channel up over the next, between now and, say, November. And maybe at that point, I might have a big enough audience that I might be able to do that. So looking into all these sort of things, but again, it's another reason for me to consider going forward now with possibly picking up a cheap 30-foot boat and getting me and Lily on it and start making the damn content that I'd like to make. So anyhow, that's the story, guys, and I'm sticking to it for now. It'll change. Life changes. Shit happens. What do you think? What's your thoughts on that? Am I as crazy as I think I am, or am I crazy like a fox or crazy like a fool? Let me know in the comments. This is real cool. It's real Carl. Don B. Kelly, good to hear from you. Gemini is on Back Creek, and you can definitely anchor back there. Yes, that's what I found out. Yep. In fact, I might even be able to just go up and tie to a spare dock in that area during the Annapolis Boat Show. What I'd really like to do is park my boat there at their dock or one of the docks in there someplace and tie off, and then use my dinghy to get me into the Annapolis Boat Show. I think dinghying my way into the boat show would be the best way to show up at the Annapolis Boat Show. To me, that would be the epitome of arriving in style. Screw this idea of flying in on my private helicopter. I wanna pull up on my rib. That's good. Anyhow, what are we doing in the chat here? Happy Kelly, happy 34th. 34th, really? Come on, Kelly. You've got bunions on your feet that are 34 years old, man. Be honest, Kelly. How many is it? 43? Your last live stream, you talked about your Phantom 4. Just bought a Mavic. Amazing what it does for the money. Akula, I really have to agree with you. I've seen what the Mavics are doing right now. Technology-wise, they're great, and I really like them. My only drawback with the Mavic is, as I understand it, and I may be wrong, but as I understand it, and I'm using my phone here as an example. Let's say this is the Mavic and it's flying around. You have to very gingerly grab it from the bottom and turn it upside down without any of the blades hitting your fingers, because it will cut your fingers off, and turn it upside down to get it to stop and shut down. There's really not a good handle to grab the Mavic with. So when you're on a boat and you're moving in the water and that Mavic's flying back in and you're trying to retrieve it, and you're on the boat all by yourself, could be a little tricky, whereas my Phantom 4 has got this big landing gear, great big handles I can grab a hold of and get a firm grip on. So I still like my Phantom 4 more than the Mavics, although the Mavics price point, from a price point standpoint, are awesome. And if you're on a fixed surface on the ground, I could see where they would be really advantageous, because you can simply have it go land on a piece of concrete or something. But from a moving sailboat, they might prove to be challenging. At least the creators that I've seen using them on a boat, I've seen where it's been challenging for them. And I've seen some people with cut of pants. So just a thought. There's no dinghy tie-up at the boat show. Yeah, well, I'll make one. Pirate. There'll be a way to tie up a dinghy someplace. Great idea when you were in Florida. Look at the views you had in a short period of time. Actually, Slipstream, I'm sort of banking on that. When I drove down from Alaska and I saw there was this, great big growth, explosive growth for that, week or 10 days or so while I was getting down there. And of course, all that fell to the wayside as a result of me changing my mind, or, hey, let's face it, I chickened out, I dropped the ball and backed away from it. I wasn't thinking clearly, too much going on too quickly. I didn't have time to roll it around in my old dusty brain and figure it out. But yeah, and then again, just, with the idea of this guy giving me a boat and all of a sudden this interest, my views spiked. I picked up a new Patreon. I picked up a real increase in views. Had people contribute on the super chat. Good indicators to me that that's the right direction for me to be going. So we'll see. Anniversary. Oh, okay. Wow. 24 years with the same woman. That speaks highly of Kim. Love your passion, Grandpa. Never give it up. Chip, not till the day I die, man. Not till the day I die. That was my thought, too. A lot of them just grab it. Yes, a lot of them just grab it. And it's tricky. You got to make sure you're very careful how you grab it. Took a 70-foot yacht to the Fort Lauderdale show. They put us in the low rent section. Yeah, I guess that would be what they would do. Yeah, but see, my dinghy, I can sneak my dinghy in there. I've got friends at certain, like, Catco and certain people that I could, hey, let me tie up to the front of that lagoon, or, let me slip in behind that island packet there and tie on, and I'll find some friends on there someplace that'll be involved that'll get me a spot to tie up my dink. So there is a dinghy tie up at the show. It's between the show and the Naval Academy, where the Natural Resources Police dock is. Well, there you go, Dave. There you go. See, where there's a will, there's a way. We'll figure it out. Hey, Kevin Costner, man, how's Dances with Wolves doing? Think you need to just do and buy any boat 30 feet or over, and that will get you started. No boat, no growth. Kevin, I could not agree with you more. I could not agree with you more. I think it's time to just, turn those cojones loose and just cut loose and do it. And let me tell you, it'll be a very ballsy move. If I'm successful in doing this, it's going to be a real ballsy move. And I'll tell you what, if I'm not a good fisherman, which fortunately I am, if I wasn't a good fisherman, I know for a fact there'll be a few nights I wouldn't be having dinner. So, and lucky for me, my dog loves to eat fish because Miss Lily might be having to eat some fish a few nights between her gravy train while I'm getting this thing off the ground and getting going because economics are going to be, I don't mean just tight, I mean like drumhead tight. So it'll be tough. Plucky in Florida, Plucky bought a 42 mono. It is no cat. It looks like a dog bit. It's going to get him cruising. Well, there you go. No pain, no gain, bro. That's right, Kevin. Absolutely no pain, no gain. And I need the pain, man. I know for some of you guys that may seem pretty odd, but I know right now I'm living a unrealistic existence here in Ohio. I mean, I literally have free room and board. I could stay here at the garage forever if I wanted to for free. My ex-wife was just thrilled to have me here to help her out with her husband. It's a situation where she could really use me to stay here and do that, and I could just stay here and do that at infinitum. But it's not doing what I need to do for me. It's doing what I need to do for her, but it's not doing what I need to do for me. At some point, we all make decisions in our life, and we have to be responsible for those decisions because those decisions lead us down whatever path we end up with, and ultimately the only person that's responsible for that is you. If you're not happy with your existence, you've got nobody to blame but yourself. If life isn't what you want it to be, then you have to think and look deep and hard into yourself and change what you're doing in yourself because it's your fault. You're ultimately responsible for your own happiness. So what was that about? Oh, Austin sent me another link. Okay. Minneapolis. Cool, Austin. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it. I'll look at them after the live stream. SV Akula says, Morgan Out Island 41. Go pretty cheap. A solid boat with a lot of room. Yeah, Morgan Out Island 41 would be an awesome boat. I've not seen one. I would jump on a Morgan Out Island or a Coronado, a Cal. Any of those boats would be ideal. In fact, I'm looking at a Cal 29 up on Lake Erie. I've spoken to the guy about it. So, yeah. So, if you guys become aware of a boat, let me know. Dave G says, are you sure? There definitely was not in October. They were scaring off everyone who tried to sneak in. Well, again, it's just a matter of having the right contacts and having the right people, though. John Stratton, are you still selling real estate? I am. I am a licensed real estate broker. In fact, I mailed off a bunch of letters today as part of my marketing. I am a up and running licensed real estate broker in the state of Florida at this moment, actively pursuing listings. Do you watch Troy and Pascal's channel, Free Range Sailing? Yes, I watch Free Range Sailing. He's an amazing fisherman. I hope you can expand on what he does and really teach some good fishing from a sailing platform. Yes, absolutely. And I've been watching some of his stuff. I find him interesting. He's actually the first guy I've seen on a sailboat, Australian, obviously, who shows the reality of, hey, you're living on a sailboat, eat fish, duh. If you're on a farm and you're raising pigs, you eat bacon. If you're on a boat, you're floating around, this huge grocery store of fish underneath you, eat fish. I can never understand when I was in Montana. When you're in Montana, you eat steak and potatoes because that's what's grown locally. When you're in Alaska, you eat Alaskan king crab. You don't eat steak in Alaska and you don't eat Alaskan king crab in Montana. Simple. When you're in New York, you don't eat Alaska salmon. When you're in New York, you've got wonderful seafood available to you in New York. That's what you should be eating. Here in Ohio, it's all beef and pork here in Ohio, and chicken. So that's what you eat here. You don't want to eat fish. However, I did find out that there's a guy right here in Lancaster, Ohio, raising Vietnamese prawns. So there you go. Fresh shrimp available right here in Lancaster, Ohio. Do a little homework. Be interesting to find out what's available near you locally. So Dave G says, Doug, yes, I'm sure, but it's outside of the show. You can't sneak in, but the purpose is for the anchored boats that come in from all over the world to come to the show. And Dave, I'm not trying to get in. I'm not trying to break into the boat show for free. I'll buy the pass. I just want the convenience of pulling up and not having to park and pay a ridiculous amount of money to park and then riding a bus and all that crap. And then walking 10 miles to go look at the boats. Not only do I plan on being at the Annapolis Boat Show, come February, I plan on being at the Miami Boat Show as well. Ouch, that's a lot. Hey, Rhonda, Cheshire Canary in the house. I'm here. I'm sorry. Had to pick up my Lydia and my $500 script. Ouch. Ouch. Sorry, Rhonda. But hey, you know what? You're here, and that's awesome. I'm glad to see you're here. 41 Moran in Daytona for 14 on Craigslist. Yeah, 14's outside my neighborhood, guys. I need to look at something under 5. 5 or under is what I'm looking at. And surprisingly, there's a few boats, not a lot of boats, but there's a few. I mean, yeah, there's a shitload of boats. But when you start looking at them, there's only a few boats, you know. And even that, I'm narrowing down just a couple. So did you get the free boat? No Plastic 61. No, I did not get the free boat. No. But you'll have to go back through this live stream and watch the rest of it to understand the story behind it. And I've kind of given everybody the whole story, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. But it'll be interesting that you guys can look at that and you'll see what's been going on in my life this week. So in a nutshell, no, I did not get the free boat. However, it did put me on the right path and right thinking, I think, to get me on a boat very quickly. And I've been looking at a number of boats on Craigslist in different places. And I do have a fella buying my truck right now. So I do believe I'll be getting onto a boat very quickly and getting out and starting to make the kind of content that I want to make. So we'll see. We'll see. So, yeah. And no Plastic 61, if I didn't say so before, like Waukesha Pilot saying no plastic, no plastic. I love your name. It's a great name. So, can't live without Ernesto. What the hell is Ernesto? Oh, you mean Ernesto and Julio Gallo? Is that what you're referring to? This is not Ernesto and Julio Gallo. This is Yellowtail. This is from down under. This is Australian Chardonnay. And I'm about halfway through that bottle now. Thanks, best wishes. Well, thanks, No Plastic 61. Hey, don't take off, man. Hang out and enjoy the conversation here. We've got 46 people watching. We finally have a moderator show up, you know, because she's been like goofing off all night. Not that we've needed a moderator. Have you guys noticed that we aren't attracting any trolls anymore? A lot of the chats that I've been on lately, it seems like the trolls have just dried up and gone away. You hardly see any of them anymore. Kind of sad, actually, because, you know, troll hunting was kind of one of my fun things to do when I was moderating for folks. And by the way, I don't know if any of you guys have watched the live stream that was on the other night, but Dave Zyree, DVS IRE, Dave Zyre, who's a subscriber, I'm surprised he's not on here watching, did a phenomenal job of moderating for Project Atticus. He was moderator for Project, and he did an awesome job of it. But I have to say, I think he learned from Rhonda, from Cheshire Canary, because Rhonda's really good about putting up like my contact. Here's his Patreon. Here's this and here's that. And Dave did all of that for Project Atticus. And I think he learned from Rhonda, and I'm going to give her props for this. I think he was watching how good a job Rhonda did, and that's what he was doing for Project Atticus. So Dave did a really good job of moderating, and I think Rhonda taught him. He may not admit to that, and I'd be interested to have a conversation with him about that. But that would be my suggestion, because Rhonda is the first one that I've seen that really went to the mat and did a great job as a moderator helping out the creator. So, hey, Grandpa, I got to get running. I'll talk to you later, guys. Have a great night. Austin, man, you take care. Have fun, buddy. I appreciate you stopping by. I would mod for you, Carl, if you needed. Well, Waukesha, I appreciate that, man. I really do. You're a good kind of guy. And so I appreciate that. It's not often that you have people willing to do that. So guess what? Bang, you're a moderator. You must pay to cross this bridge. That's life, isn't it, Papa Truck? How you doing, man? Nice to see you here. Mary Clanadin, how are you? Hey, Carl, nice to see you. It's nice to see you here, too, Mary. How are you doing? Hell, my wife can drink a whole bottle by herself. Go, Grandpa, go. Now, Kelly, I would not believe that of Kim. Well, yes, I would. Yes, I would. She is, after all, Megan's mom, and so she's got to get it from somewhere. But to be fair, okay, this is not a normal size bottle of wine, okay? This is one of the big ones. This is the, I don't know, it's like a 2-liter bottle size almost, maybe close to it, but it's a big one. So I think this is the equivalent of 2 bottles of wine. So, and for those of you that just came here late, I'm sorry if I'm rude drinking wine out of the bottle. I did go get a glass to have a glass, but my glass is filthy. Came out of the dishwasher that way, and I refused to drink out of it. I didn't want to go take the time to wash a glass during the middle of the live stream. So I'm being rude and drinking out of the bottle. So there you go. When you're doing live stuff and it's live, you got to just go with it. So here you go, Waukesha. You was there, man. You got wrenched. I'm a troll. No, Papa Truck, you're hardly a troll. I'm glad you're doing good, Mary. I'm very glad you're doing good. Not for me. Oh, really, Kim? Really? You're going to say Megan didn't learn from you how to drink wine? I bet you and Kelly taught her a long time ago. Melts in your mind, not in the bottle. Brian Peebles, what's up, man? Glad to see you here. At what point is a project boat not worth it, given the fact that if someone bought a project boat to learn and to see how things work and fix things? Brian, I don't think there's an answer to that, except I think the basic fiberglass, the hull itself, the main part of the boat, has got to be functional. Not to say that it may not have a blister or a soft spot here or there, but it should be 75 to 80% there. Now, if you look at a boat and the whole hull is covered in blisters, don't even go near it. Run away from it. If you look at a boat and the deck's all covered with deep cracks, run away from it. Those cracks will let water get in there, and that water will soften that up and break up that fiberglass. So I think as long as the basic bone, it's like as a realtor, we look at houses, if the basic bones of the house, if the foundation is good, if the framing is good, then it's good. For example, the Cal 31 that I had up in Alaska looked like a good boat, but I had some questions about the compression post, which is the post that goes through the boat that the mast sits on. At the base of the compression post, there's underneath the fiberglass, between the fiberglass and the keel, there's a wood block. And I had some real reservations about that, but the inspector, the boat surveyor that I spent $700 and something hiring, assured me that it was fine. Well, it wasn't. The wood block underneath it had rotted out. And so that creates a major structural issue. So I think those are some of the things you have to look at when you're debating just, how far down a boat can be and be brought back to reality. Let me jump into the chat here. I'll get back to one more thing. Remind me to talk about the guys that restored the Cal 40. Nope, I missed the name here. Aluta Paliata, how are you? Welcome. Glad to see you here. I wish you good luck finding a boat. My odd-looking name here is the scientific for Latin howler monkey. Really? Well, that's interesting. So are you noisy then, Alouetta? Alouetta, junkie, Alouetta. No trolls, but 5 thumbs down. Yeah, well, that's fine. They got to at least watch to give me a thumbs down, and that gives me a view, so that's fine. I think I learned from her. Oh, Kim, that's bad. That's so bad. So, did you buy a boat in Florida, Carl? Mary, I did not buy a boat in Florida, but I am boat shopping very seriously right now. So, Baba Truck says, I'm consuming Weinersteppen, Hoffenweiser. Spent 2 years in Germany and got it. Nice. Brian Peebles, man, awesome, dude. Thank you so much. You rock, dude. That is so nice of you to generate some funds on the super chat. I really appreciate that, man, Brian. No, seriously, I really do. I really do. I just really appreciate it, and I sit here and I think to myself, man, should I buy this boat and go do this? Do I have the balls to go do this? And then someone like Brian comes along with $20 towards your new boat and reminds me of the phenomenal support and love that I have from my viewers that watch my channel. And man, if there's any reason for me to go forward, it's because of people like Brian Peebles that's willing to throw $20 at it and say, hey, man, go for it. Thank you, Brian. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Honeybees One, how you doing, man? I just financed a 36-foot Pearson a few months ago. Looking forward to day sailing here on Long Island. Nice. Where on Long Island are you, Honeybees? I grew up, I was born in Hempstead, and I grew up in Port Washington, in Sands Point, actually, if you know where Sands Point is, but love Long Island. In fact, hopefully I will be sailing around Long Island this summer, and so we'll have to hook up and share an anchorage someplace. That would be awesome, Honeybees. Where are you from? S. Viacula says those areas at mast step or compression post are a common problem in older boats because they put wood in it to sit on. Not that big of a deal to repair. No, but on the cows, it really is difficult. Let me go back to the cows because I mentioned the Cal 40 a minute ago. Oh gosh, what's the name? There's a YouTube channel. Something Marine. They're a company. They manufacture boats parts. Oh gosh, maybe you guys can help me out here. Anyhow, they took a Cal 40 and restored it. And when I mean restored it, I mean they gutted it down. They replaced the compression post. They got underneath the decks. They put it up in a lift and turned it around and cleaned the inside and outside, repainted everything, fixed all the fiberglass. I mean, soup to nuts, rebuilt this boat up, and then sailed it from Pacific Northwest over to Hawaii and back. Phenomenal job they did with it. But look on YouTube for a Cal 40 restoration. If you look Cal 40 restoration, you'll find it. Schaefer Marine, I think is the name of the channel. Awesome job they did fixing up that cow. So for me, I'm a cow fan. I've owned a number of them, so I'm pretty excited about that. So, okay, Carl just being humble. No, not me. I'm not humble. We're gonna sit on it. Not that hard. Okay, Brian Peebles, you deserve it. Thank you. Honeybees, Huntington. Okay, no Huntington. Well, hey, Huntington. Wow. Yeah, spent a lot of time in hunting. I used to be in a rock and roll band when I was in high school. And, there's this certain musician from Huntington who used to beat the shit out of us at the Battle of the Bands all the time when we played the bars around Huntington, Long Island, or all over Long Island, You probably know who I'm talking about if you're from Huntington. So I'll leave it at that and see if you can come up with the right name. But, Kim, you take care, darling. We'll see you later. Be good. And don't be drinking too much wine now, Kim. Mine is replaced with an aluminum plate. Yeah, cool. That's the smartest thing to do. Get in there and put a piece of aluminum or stainless in there to replace that wood. Waukesha Pilot says, bye, Kim. Wish you could stay. Aw, how nice. Love you, Grandpa. Keep plugging. Thank you, Kelly. You take care, man. You and Kim both leaving at the same time. Wonder what's going on at the Binks residence this evening. The Binks are going out tonight. Yeah, Waukesha, maybe so. Maybe so. Hey, Palm Limit. Hey, Grandpa, whatever happened to the boat you were on in Alaska? Did you sell it or was it a rental? No, I owned that boat. It was a Cal 31. And that's the boat that I was referring to, that I had a surveyor look at that and told me that the block underneath the mast step was fine. And I bought the boat based on him saying that it was okay. And I sailed it around that summer up in Alaska, and it was not okay. It definitely was not okay. And I didn't want to get involved in doing that much of a major gut and rehab because the mast had actually chipped up some of the deck surface. There were spots that had popped and cracked on the deck surface because of the mast settling down past, into the mast step, the mast post through the boat. It just was a bad situation. So I decided to go ahead and sell that boat. Very angry about that. Very angry about that. And one of the reasons why to this day I will never use a boat surveyor ever again. So I've been working. What did I miss? King of Chuck. Oh, you didn't miss all. 12 degrees, man. Awesome, dude. Thank you for so much. $50. What's A? Australian? Is that 50 Australian? Man, super, dude. I can't believe you did that. That is awesome, man. Thank you so much. Wow. Seriously, dude, that is just really fantastic. Thank you, sir. Could not tell you how much I appreciate that, man. Thank you. RV Camp Life, welcome. Glad you're here. Are you selling any properties, making any progress? I'm not. Let me clarify. I am not a selling agent. I'm a listing agent. When it comes to real estate, there's two sides of a transaction. One represents the seller and one represents the buyer. I represent sellers selling properties, not buyers buying properties. So I don't take people in my car, drive them around, and be a tour guide and show them a bunch of houses. I work with people trying to sell their homes and listing them, marketing them as best that they can be marketed. That, frankly, is where the money is at in real estate. If you're a realtor wondering what you should be doing, you should be focusing 90% of your efforts on listing properties and 10% on dealing with some buyers. Buyers, frankly, are a pain in the ass and very little ROI. So 12 degrees, once again, man, I'm going to say thank you. You guys rock. You guys for donating money to your night, just awesome. Thank you very much. Waukesha Pilot, new sheriff in town. There you go. For the boat. Awesome, man. I appreciate that, 12 degrees. Thank you. That is awesome. Waukesha Pilots, thank you. Man, see, this is what I'm talking about. What a great community this is. Not only am I thanking the guy, here's another viewer, Waukesha Pilot, thanking the guy too. That's just awesome, man. You guys just are awesome. So, got you 3%, 3%, 6, you do both. Got you 3%, 3%, 6, you do both. Yes, I see. Okay, yes, gotcha. Yeah, listing agent gets 3%, selling agent gets 3% of a 6% commission if it is a 6% commission. Now, certain communities, that's changing. Like up in Alaska, if it was anything under $200,000, I worked on the 10%, 8 to 10, depending on the property. In Florida now, if it's anything under $100,000, they work on a 10%. If it's vacant land, it's on a 10% basis, not a 6% basis anymore. So some of that, that 6%, it's not a regulated required amount. And guys, just so you know, when you're working with a realtor, negotiate. And don't negotiate at the time that you list the property. List it and let everybody be out there at the sort of standard business practice of 6%, which tends to nationwide be about the average. Go ahead and do a 6% listing on your property, figuring your guy's going to get 3 and the buyer's going to get 3. But when that offer comes in, and you're trying to work out the final details, Don't be afraid to put a little pressure on your agent and the other agent to take a little bit of a haircut to make the deal happen. Just saying. Now, that's some really behind-the-scenes shit there. Pardon me. But, and the reason I say don't do it at the time you list the property, because if you do it at the time you list your property, you're working against yourself. If you do, for example, a 5% listing where everything else in the neighborhood is at 6%, then your agent's going to put it out on the MLS at only 2.5% to the selling agent. Guess what? Those selling agents aren't going to show your house. They've got too many other properties they can sell at 3%. Why sell yours at 2.5 when they can sell the others at 3? They're not even going to bother with you, and your house is going to spend a year on the market doing nothing. You got to play the game sometimes, is what I'm saying. But once an offer comes in, now money talks. Now you're in the driver's seat a little bit. So far, this is easier than that other channel I'm on for. I apparently don't have any trolls anymore. So no Chinese people getting on here. No whack jobs getting on here berating anybody. It's gotta like it. Gotta love it. Gotta love it, man. It's awesome. You know what it is? They say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, maybe a wine bottle a day keeps the trolls away. And if that's the case, I'm going to invest in a couple cases of wine to have on board every time I do a live stream. RV Camp Life says, nice, been watching for a while. See the ups and downs. Only advice I could give right now is quit beating yourself up all the time and saying that your content is junk. When I say my content is junk, RV Camp Life, I'm not really producing. Well, let me back up. There's a YouTube channel called Travelers in Paradise. Go look at it, and you'll see what I'm capable of doing. Travelers in Paradise is a television show that we produced that ran on Versus Network nationwide across America. It was broadcast quality, 1080i, high def, all of the glitzy stuff. We had the lower thirds coming across with the name and stuff and all the fancy shit happening with it. That's not YouTube, guys. YouTube is down and dirty and low budget and real. This is real TV. This is real TV. This isn't, when I was up in Alaska selling real estate, I had all the, Buy Alaska, all these companies contact me. Oh, we want to feature you in one of our episodes of Buying Alaska because you're a character and whatever. And I told them to go pound sand because it's all scripted and fake stuff. It's not real. YouTube, some YouTube, not all YouTube, some YouTube is real stuff. This is real stuff. So I tend not to do the fancy glitzy. There's no lower thirds across the back. I'm not doing any kind of fancy graphics or hey, this is me. I'm Carl Brook. I even changed my content. Not my content, my channel name. It used to be Grandpa's Farm or Grandpa's Farm Goes Sailing. Now it's just Carl Brook. It's me. I'm not hiding behind some pseudonym. This is me. This is real. This is who I am. And to me, that's the value of YouTube. It's like Casey Neistat. One of the reasons why Casey's got, 7, 8, 9 million subscribers is because it's Casey. It's not, Joe Blow. It's not PewDiePie hiding behind a name. It's Casey. So people seem to like that. So just start doing it, man. I think that's what people want to see. Don't talk about it. Just be able to make it happen. RV Camp Life, you have no idea how frustrated I am in just talking about it. You have no idea. For the last decade, I've been, when I bought my boat, summer of 2015, sell a little bit in Florida, in Alaska. I did a little bit of content like I wanted to start getting into, but nowhere near really where I want to be getting to. And so you'll see. Coming soon to a YouTube channel near you. Hi, Brian. No, I don't know Hiram. Hiram Walker, man. Hiram Walker. Wasn't that a song? Do you know the Hiram Walker? No, I don't think it was Hiram Walker. It was something else Walker, wasn't it? We could have a bidding donation war. There you go. I'd love that. It's real, man. Yes, it is real. I try to be. RV Camp Life. So start producing what you want about what you're working on. Tell your story. Just do it, man. You have the time. Manage a lot of marketing. And it's not the lower thirds. I agree. I agree, RV Camp Life. In fact, you're late to the live stream a little bit, but yeah, that's exactly what this conversation has been about. Um, I've been I've been boat shopping and looking at boats on Craigslist and all over the place, and I've got my truck sold, and I'm about 48 to 96 hours away from pulling the plug and buying a boat. In which case, me and my dog are going to be on the boat and going and sailing and making the content we want to be. Done. Right, Brian? You're right. Done. We're there. We're there. And I expect my channel will probably blow up quite a bit when that happens. God, I hope so. God knows I'm going to need the revenue. But yeah, and you know, to qualify this a little and you know, put a little check and balance into it. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy this piece of crap boat. I'm going to buy this, you know, $3,000 30-foot boat that I've been looking at. Or this is one paper, but I have a whole bunch of other papers over there that are beyond my reach right now. I've been looking at a lot of boats. I'm going to buy one of these boats, and I'm going to sail on it this summer. And I may sail it down to Annapolis by time for the Annapolis Boat Show, October. And by the time I do that, I'll have a pretty good handle on where I'm going to be at as a YouTuber, how many people are going to be subscribing, how my growth is. And I know this because for the last decade, yes, I said decade, I have been statistically tracking all of the YouTube channels. From day one, I've been tracking Delos and La Vagabond and before them, you know, Lynn and Larry Party and what they were doing, and Distant Shores and what they were doing before YouTube. I'm talking about back in the days when we had VHS tapes. Okay, my earliest sailing videos were VHS tapes. How's that for dating myself? And I've done statistical analysis, and I've watched the growth of these people and the advent of YouTube and how those channels have grown and built. So I know that come Annapolis, come October, May, June, July, August, September, October, 6 months from now, I'll have a solid handle on where I'm going to be at and where I'm going to be going. And then I'll be able to decide where I'll be. And I think at that point, I may have built my channel up to the point, and I'm just dreaming now, okay? And I'm dreaming big. And again, you know, my cojones are out there, and I'm kind of saying, hey, this is where I'm going to be at. I'm kind of thinking I may be at the point where, you know, maybe I'll attract someone like a Gemini or Lagoon or somebody to make some sort of a deal with me so that I can be using one of their boats as a platform for my channel, much like La Vagabond did with Outremer. Much like Delos is doing, you know, with the Able. You know, their manufacturers are supporting them somewhat. I understand sailing doodles. You know, maybe I'm tipping the hat a little bit, but you know, sailing, this guy that's got this charter business in Thailand and owns a boat manufacturing facility where they're making catamarans in Thailand. You know, after Bob gets done and gets this delivery done to him in August, if he doesn't turn Bob onto a catamaran and make some kind of a deal with Bob to get on one of his catamarans to continue his channel, he's stupid. He's stupid, you know. So there's a couple catamaran companies I'd love to talk to. PDQ, which is now, I guess, down in Brazil or whatever. They used to be in the United States. I'd like to talk to them, or, you know, Gemini or one of the small cats. Be awesome to be on there. So we'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of different ways this can go and a lot of different directions it can happen. Right now, the burden is upon me to make the content. And it's not going to be the fancy, glitzy, you know, been there, done that kind of stuff. That's not what YouTube is. YouTube is raw and personal, and you and me talking, having a conversation on a live stream. I will prepare you guys a little bit. And for all those people not participating in the live stream here, just to give you a heads up as to where some things may be going with my channel. I'm not going to follow this bullshit, put out one video a week nonsense. Frankly, I'm going to be I'm going to be panicking and needing the money. True story. I'm going to be panicking and needing the money. You're going to see a litany of content coming from my channel. I may do 3 or 4 or 5 live streams a week. I may do 5 or 6 quick videos. I love shooting a quick video on my phone, 4 or 5 minutes while I'm in the middle of something, and then posting it up onto my channel without editing. Raw, boom. This is what I did today. I love doing that because it's raw and it's simple and it's honest. And this is me and this is what I did today. And I like doing that. So you're probably going to see more of that kind of stuff coming in the near future. So with that said, let me go ahead and jump back in the chat. RV Camp Life says, nice. I get it, man. Just trying to light some fire. Man, you seem like a good dude. Instead of talking about what you're going to do, just capture the moments when you're doing it. And we're on to that, man. Where is the boat on Lake Erie that you're looking at? Brian, I'm not talking specifically about any particular boat until such time as the papers are signed, and I'm sorry about that, but my reason for that is in the past, trolls and haters have interfered. They've, I called the guy, oh, don't sell your boat to this guy, he's a scumbag, whatever. I'm not going to get involved in that nonsense. Suffice it to say, I'm looking at the Great Lakes. I'm looking at the Eastern Shore, East Coast plate. I'm not going to talk about any boats. Once I've got a boat in my sights and we've got a sign sealed area, that's fine. But generally speaking, if it's within about 300 or 400 miles of Columbus, Ohio, okay, 300 or 400 miles of Columbus, Ohio, I'm going to go look at it. So that tells you where I'm looking. Okay, all the Great Lakes, all the way over to the East Coast, New York, down to Virginia, even Florida. So, and I know Florida's further than that, but Florida. So, the man deserves respect for honesty. Thank you, Waksha. I appreciate that. So, your boat won't be in Florida. My boat will be in Florida, but not initially in Florida. I really, to be honest with you, no Plastic 61, I don't want to be in Florida till the end of hurricane season. I think it would be a fool's errand for me to buy a boat right now and run down to Florida with it. In fact, if I bought a boat in Florida right now, I would probably run it up the East Coast. I have in the past, and I believe completely in my heart that the smartest way not to lose your boat to a hurricane is don't be where hurricanes are during hurricane season. So if I buy a boat, let's say I buy a boat in Pensacola, Florida, I'm going to go around the point, around the Keys, and head up the East Coast, and I'm going to look to be in, Long Island, New York, Maine, somewhere up there this summer. I'm going to head down to Annapolis for the boat show in October, and then I'll slowly work my way down the intercoastal or down the coast to be in Florida by the end of November. Then I may start honestly working very hard trying to sell real estate down there. If my YouTube channel hasn't blown up and grown to where I would like it to be. If it has grown and blown up to where I'd like it to be, then I'm going to bounce from Florida over to the Bahamas and hit the Caribbean, go down to the BVI, party with some friends of mine down there, and head on from there. So a lot of decisions have to be made, and a lot of it's going to be determined upon how my channel grows. So I think Bob has another delivery set up for the Mediterranean. Well, that would be interesting, Waukesha. That would be interesting. Love the raw content, makes it more personal. 12 degrees, that's what YouTube's all about. To me, that's the secret of YouTube. Look at it this way. If I was a content creator back in the day and I had a TV show on ABC, would you be able to talk to me? Hell no. They're not going to, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's not going to do a live stream. Kudos to Will Smith, frankly. Kudos to Will Smith is that he started a YouTube channel. The guy's smart. He understands the writing on the wall. So, yeah, it has to become more personal. Anything near my side of town, let me know, and we can meet up. Brian, your side of town is... I'm sorry. My memory's about as long as my penis, so I don't remember stuff very long. Makes me smile every time I see one of your videos, even if it's just bullshit. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Hey, Drugless, man, how you doing? How you feeling, Doug? Sorry you didn't get the vote. Man, it's all good. It's all good. Got me going in the right direction, Douglas, so thank you. Guys, in case you don't know, Douglas Imbragamo was the best man at my first wedding and a guy I've known since before high school. Doug and I are old friends. Miss Lily is in the dog crate right here, and she's going to stay there because it's keeping her out of trouble. You should check out Champagne Boat. Hey, John, I am a member of Champagne Corbett. I am on that Facebook page looking at all kinds of stuff. Saugadillo live cam is back up. Yes, it is. Been up for a while. Yellowtail is good. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yellowtail is very good. Thanks for reminding me, Douglas. Who was the other guy that was here on Long Island? Doug lives in Levittown. Douglas Imbragamo, you live in Levittown. Somebody else was on here from, oh crap, Billy Joel's old town. Port Jefferson, no, out in that neighborhood. Speak up. Whoever you were, jump back in the chat and say, yeah, that was me. Papa Truck, speaking of Pensacola, we had the tall ships here last week, 6 of the 7 large schooners. Yeah, aren't they awesome? Oh, Papa Truck, they're awesome. When I was keeping my boat in Seattle in the Pacific Northwest, they had the tall ships come in there, and I got to walk on some of them and look at them. Just amazing, amazing boats, amazing. The crews that were necessary for them was just so incredible to see those big, large schooners. So I will find it pretty interesting, though. There's some scuttlebutt about long term. They think that international sailing, international shipping, these big container ships are going to go back to sail powered. How's that for a kick in the pants, huh? No Cool Name 32 says, doesn't Tula's Endless Adventure have the same cat as that guy that keeps having crap go wrong? Those can't be that expensive. Well, I'm not sure who you're referring to. They don't have a Warrum, and they don't have a Lagoon. And those are the guys that I'm aware of that have cats that everything's going wrong on, besides La Vagabond. You know, frankly, La Vagabond's Outremer has been having a lot of issues for a brand new boat. Just saying. In Lakewood, just west of Cleveland. Okay, well, Brian, I'm going to be looking at some boats up on Lake Erie, possibly in a couple of days. So I may be up in that neighborhood pretty soon. Huntington, yes, Akula. There you go. Huntington, Long Island. SV Akula is from Huntington, Long Island. Doug Imbragamo is from Levittown. And Levittown, Doug actually lives within a mile of the house that I lived in when I was brought home from the hospital, 163 Elm Place, Levittown, New York. 163 Elm Place, Levittown, New York is the house that I was brought into when I was first born in Hempstead General Hospital there on Long Island. And Doug lives within an hour of that. He lives actually right across from the pool that I used to go swimming at when I was a kid, when I was, an enfant. So, Sailing Zingaro. Oh, okay. I don't remember what cat brand they were on, so I don't know. My 9 times great grandpa crossed the Atlantic from London to Virginia in 1635 on the George. Wow. Somebody's been doing their family history. 1635. Wow. On the George. George what? I agree, new boat problems. Okay. Not from there, just jogging. Oh, okay, cool. Not just jogging my memory. Yeah, someone was from Huntington, and that's where Billy Joel was from. And I don't know, Doug, do you remember the rock band that I was in back in high school? I don't know if you remember that. With Craig Fletcher and the Hocklerin brothers, and Craig Fletcher and I were in a band, and we would play at the bars there, like at across from Dunkin' Donuts over there by Roslyn and stuff. I don't know if you remember that. I don't know why Steve was never in the band. I don't think him and Craig got along very well back in high school. Old history, folks. Old history, man. But I was the lead singer. I was the front man for the band. I used to do songs like blue suede shoes and that kind of stuff. And what else did we do? Jimi Hendrix. We did a lot of Jimi Hendrix and that kind of stuff. Back in the day, wow. 1975, 1976 that was. 76, yeah. 77, I went over to Bahrain for a year. Long memories. All right, guys. Well, look, we've been going a long time. It's 20 minutes after 9 p.m. It's getting kind of late. Is there anything in particular you guys want to talk about? I think I've given you the breakdown of where we're at and where we're going with stuff. The wine is taking its toll on me. Just to show you guys where we're at, I've kind of knocked back the bulk of that bottle. For those of you guys that have contributed to the Super Chat, man, I really appreciate it. You have no idea how much I appreciate that. So thank you very much. And let's see. I think Zingaro sells a Crother Spindrift made in Canada. Okay. This is too cool, Carl. Getting groovy. Yeah, thanks, Waukesha. I appreciate it. Not getting groovy, getting drunk. Yes, I did say Bahrain. I actually went to high school. My my second senior year of high school. Okay, I was supposed to graduate high school in 1976, Port Washington, New York. About a week before graduation, my guidance counselor came to me and said, "Oh, you owe us a year of PE. I didn't meet the physical education requirement. Apparently, I didn't sign up for enough PE classes." I was wondering, like, why the hell are you waiting till a week before graduation to tell me this? I don't know why they didn't tell me this like a year ago. But apparently, I owed my high school a year of PE, so I wasn't able to graduate in 1976 like I was supposed to. So my dad took a job over in Bahrain, and so I went over to Bahrain and spent a year over there going to the U.S. Navy DoD school in Jufair, Bahrain. And their requirements were a little different. I had to take one history course. I had to take one English course over there. And then I spent the rest of the morning doing choir and band. I was a musician back then. In fact, I went to college as a music major to be a music educator, vocal emphasis. And then I spent the entire afternoon scuba diving in this pool because that was the only requirement that the school had for me. So I spent all afternoon swimming in the swimming pool, scuba diving. I was the teacher's, pet person. However, the teacher was a U.S. Navy SEAL, Colonel Cochran, and he kicked our ass, man. I mean, he really kicked our ass in the pool. We did all kinds of fun stuff. I don't want to go into some of the stuff that well, he's not going to get him in trouble anymore years ago. But, yeah, I graduated high school in 1977 in Bahrain. Papa Truck says, I was there in 95. Yeah, well, you were doing a little different in 95 than I was there in 77. I'm sure it changed a little bit. Stationed in Dhahran. There you go. Yeah, Papa Truck, my father was a civil engineer for Pan American World Airways on loan to Gulf Air at the time. He was working on building property and facilities for them, which is what he had done for Pan Am. And then after, let's see, he was there 76, 77, 78, I think even 79. And then he went over to Riyadh, where he worked on the Hajj terminal in Jeddah, building the great big terminals over there for the Hajj, for all the Arabs to be able to make the holy journey to Mecca, because, Jeddah was right next to Mecca. And so they had Dow Corning making these huge tents that were up on elevated poles, shading all the buildings down below so the air conditioning could work to keep them cool. Anyhow, Dad spent, 7 or 8 years over there in Saudi Arabia working before he finally retired. And he retired, came back to the United States. He and I were I was a real estate broker working in New York at the time on Long Island. He and I were going to buy, houses and fix them up and renovate them and flip them and sell them. My dad was studying for his real estate license when he had his stroke. In fact, he was studying for his real estate license. I went to Ohio. I went here to Ohio to our family farm to go deer hunting in November for a week of deer season. And while I was here deer hunting, I got the call from my mom that my dad had had a stroke. He was never the same after that. I was the parking lot monitor in high school, grade of 72, before cameras. There you go, Waukesha. Yeah, 1972, huh? A little before my time. 72, I was in junior high school. You're showing your age there, Waukesha. You're showing your age. Oh, crap. Anyhow, guys, look, I got a lot of stuff I have to work on tomorrow. I got to buy a boat. I got to buy a boat tomorrow. I got to figure this out and buy a boat. So I'm going to go. You guys all take good care of yourself. For the folks that contributed to my super chat, man, I really, really, really appreciate that. I can't tell you how much. I am really going to need the money here in the near future. So I thank you for that. And well, anyhow, we'll see you next time. You guys all take good care of one another. Be really careful and take good care of one another. And hopefully, one of these days soon, you and I will be sitting here at this beach. And for those of you that know what this is the live stream off of Joost Van Dyke. We'll be meeting there someday and having a cocktail sitting there on the beach, enjoying ourselves in the tropics. Anyhow, guys, you guys really take good care of one another. We'll see you later. Be good and be careful. This is Grandpa signing out for the evening. Good night, all.